What's cooking, Bianconeri? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today we've got a packed show. We got a ton of news, a lot of little tidbits that you're going to want to hear about. Make sure you stick with us, but here's the things that we're going to go over. Some of the three main topics, but there really are so much more packed into this. So make sure you stick through us with the whole video because there will be a lot of stuff mingled in there that you won't want to miss. First off, of course, we're going to talk about Pogba, some of the parameters of what his return could be and what will be necessary or laid out for us there. Then we're talking about Juve's upcoming transfer window. Who are their targets? They're all set and they're planning to go. They know what they want and they know what they need to get done. And then also Kaio, Jorge, and Archer, the two Brazilians, return to play in a friendly as well as other practice, stuff like that. And they looked good. And also they talked to Juventus TV. We'll have their summaries there. Stick with us. We'll fill you in now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back. You're in the Bianconeri zone. My name is Justin Sofro, and today is Saturday, October 9th, 2021. And of course, I have your latest rundown of all things Juventus. Before we do anything, though, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And also hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Let's just jump into it because there's a lot to talk about today, and we don't have a lot of time. So let's go ahead and just get into it now with the very first news story of the day. And that's talking about our guy, Paul Pogba. Of course, we're going to have to talk about him. Gazzetta dello Sport's reporting that Juventus are always thinking about the return of Pogba, but this could only happen should the club sell Ramsey, Rabiot, or Ramsey and I don't know if it's Ramsey and Rabiot or Ramsey or Rabiot. We'll see. And Paul not ask for a wage increase. Of course, that's something that we all want. We want the return of Paul Pogba to Juventus. A superstar player like him would do wonders for the club, and the potential of what they could win in the future. There's been some rumors leaked out there. They may be trash. Who knows? That he may be looking at signing a deal to stay at Manchester United. That's always an option on the table, obviously. But I would love to see him return to Juventus. We'd have to see Ramsey or Rabiot go. More than likely Ramsey. I know we talked about it yesterday. Ramsey, basically, if he wants to go on a free, if somebody will take him, Juventus is willing to do that at this point to get rid of the player and get rid of his wages that they currently have. Rabiot is another one who's a bit iffy. He has his moments, but it's usually later in the season after a long time has gone by. We've seen what he is currently. Either one of those two could go. You definitely would get rid of either of those two to bring in Paul Pogba. Also, I wonder if Rabiot is maybe included there because, there's been some harsh feelings, if you will, with the Rabiot family and then Pogba family and what else has been going on there. It was a mess for the French squad, so I can only imagine what that means if he come back here to play with him. Okay, and then we got to talk about this, and this is the next topic of the day, and that's Fabrizio Romano, who's basically just clearing the air. People are all talking about Federico Chiesa and his potential departure from Juventus because so many other clubs are interested in him. He's a high-level player. He's Juventus's arguably best player currently. But Fabrizio Romano is saying, despite rumors about Liverpool, Chelsea, and German clubs' interests, Juventus have no intention of considering offers or approaches for Federico Chiesa. He's a key part of the project, and he's untouchable. And then he throws in at the end, Juan Cuadrado will soon extend his contract with Juventus. We know that, obviously. But just kind of good. It's good to hear guys like Fabrizio Romano kind of confirm that for everybody. I don't think a lot of people are really worried about Federico Chiesa leaving. He seems to be another one of the heart and soul guys, similar to like what Del Piero was. I think he and Locatelli can be that in the future, be the heart and soul of Juventus, the guys who love the club, who are passionate about the club, and that can actually instill some of that meaningful like I said, just that heart into the club. Overall, though, yeah, I'm not too worried about Federico Chiesa ever departing. Only thing I could ever see it happen is if that was his desire to go play somewhere else, play in the Premier League or whatever. But it does not seem to be the case at this moment. Let's move on. Then we got, we have to talk about this one. This is Beppe Marotta, who was speaking to Mattia Moscati, who was saying, basically talking about his regrets at Juventus. What regrets does he have? He said, regrets, there are many. The last one was at Juve. We could have had Haaland for 2 million euros. Today, he's one of the most important players at the international level. If you know, we talked about it on the channel before, just how much of a mistake that was. They were trying to buy Haaland, and Juve being Juve, wanted to have him and force him to play in the U23 and not just sign him for the first team and understand he was younger at the time. That's normal protocol. But at the same time, a player of his, he knew what his caliber was, and that's why he played elsewhere, and Juventus didn't end up with him. Hopefully something can change and he can come back. I'm less optimistic than some people that he'll actually come to Juventus. But as it stands right now, that's where he is. And it's unfortunate that Juventus couldn't have bought him for 2 million euros. Talk about how much money Juventus wastes on other players. And then what you could have had a superstar for 2 million euros is insane to me. All right. Let's talk about regrets. Let's talk about one guy who hopefully won't become a regret. And that is not Nicola Shera. He's reporting, but he's talking about Vlahovic and his situation. He's basically saying that some rumors have been unfounded at the current time, saying that no confirmation of the rumors of a change of agent for Vlahovic. The Serbian striker is very happy with his longtime agent, Darko Ristic, maybe. For the summer, the priority remains Serie A, with Juventus being a very hot track. So yes, Juventus obviously is very interested in him. That's a deal that we're hoping to get worked out to bring him to the club. Another top tier striker at Juventus. We could definitely use his help. But definitely, I don't know too much about when it comes to his agent and what his situation with his agent or his agent's preferences or how they manage things. But I don't know how that would affect Juventus in the future. But it's just something to keep an eye on in case it does throw a wrench in things. We can move on talking about this, though. We can go and we're talking about the transfer window, and that's where Giovanni Albanese brings up this, saying that if the conditions are right, Juventus will work in the next Mercato window to hit 2 targets, Vlahovic and Tchouameni. Both of them are born in 2000 and are in line with the new Bianconeri cycle. It won't be easy, but they'll try to find the necessary solutions. Now, this report hit me pretty hard, or not hard, but hit me like as a surprise. I was like, no way. There's no way. And it probably is. It probably won't happen. But it's one of those situations where I'm like, this could actually happen. Bringing in both Tchouameni and Vlahovic, that would incredibly boost the club for what we have right now to finish out the season if you're bringing him in the January window. Now, sometimes when they say the next Mercato window, sometimes they skip over, they ignore the winter window. Sometimes they really mean the summer. So that's why I don't know clarification there if that's exactly what he meant. But if he meant in the winter window, that would be fantastic for Juventus. But obviously, again, similar to the Pogba situation, you'd have to lose Ramsey. You'd have to probably sell McKinney to bring in Tchouameni. You'd have to do a bunch of little different options. That would really set that up there. So that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on. Then we'll go on to the next one because this is all connected. It's all connected, guys. Calcio Mercato is reporting that Tchouameni is a concrete target for Juventus in the January market. McKinney could be included in an exchange with AS Monaco or could be sold to finance the deal. So again, Weston McKinney more than likely would have to leave to bring in a guy like Tchouameni just because they're in similar spots, but also financially how that plays out for Juventus. I'd be interested to see how this will play out because if you can do that, especially Weston McKinney, who's struggled lately, maybe he can go out somewhere else and really maybe better his situation. I know Juventus fans don't care, but as an American, I'd be interested to see him maybe better himself, maybe get his head space right somewhere else, even if he has to. Hopefully he wouldn't burn out somewhere. But at the same time, Tchouameni would be a great target for Juventus to add. Hopefully they can get that one done. And that looks like they're really going to try to grab him in January, which would be a big boost to the midfield. Then we can go over here and we're talking about Calcio Mercato again, who's talking about Juventus are looking for a central defender for next season. Paris Schurz is one of the players on Juve's list. The player could leave Ajax if a good offer comes in. Me personally, I don't know much about Paris Schurz, I'll be honest. But that's just another name. We're throwing that name out there so you all know Paris Schurz is another option for Juventus. And I'm saying his name wrong. I probably am. Let me know if you know more about the player. I've watched Ajax a handful of times, but I never really paid attention that much to him. And also, I didn't watch him that long. But at the same time, so let me know if you have a better opinion or grasp on the player and what he could bring to Juventus, if you like him or not. I don't know if he was there when De Ligt was there or not, if that would be a reunion. But anyway, it'd be something to keep an eye on going forward. And then we got an update regarding Rabiot and his situation, basically just saying that so the pandemic strikes another player. He has tested positive for you know what it is. I don't know. It's still iffy if we're okay to say it on this channel or not, because sometimes if you say the C word, not that C word, if you say the C word, you get like a strike automatically, or they flag it just because they think people are spreading misinformation or whatever have you. Anyway, he tested positive for the pandy. So anyway, that's what we're going to leave it at. So that's an interesting update because I'll be honest, not that it's kind of fallen to the wayside, but it's been such a non-issue I feel like for so long now that like we haven't. When was the last time somebody tested positive that you can really, it feels like it's been a while to me at least. I also don't know what that says about certain player situations, vaccinated, unvaccinated, whatever. That's an argument that I'm not willing to have today. But anyway, so it's just makes it interesting to see his situation, and he'll have to miss because of that time. I don't know how many people will be upset that he is missing because of that, but I'm just reporting the news. Then we move on, and we've got some statements made from different players about different situations. First one we have up for you is Manuel Locatelli. And Locatelli was saying, we didn't start very well, but now we are on the up, and we have a coach who knows what we have to do. It's a well-balanced championship. Napoli started very well, but there's also Inter, who are champions, and Milan, who are doing very well. It's good like that. It's good like that. Odd phrasing to use at the end of that. And then he goes on to say, joining Juventus was a dream and the beginning of a new journey. The summer I looked for them so much, and I only wanted them. That's maybe the main part that's really to take from that. I mean, the first one was a player speak, coach speak, whatever you want to have. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Hopefully we can win, whatever. Yeah. Throw it out. I don't care. Then we can go on to this. And basically, it's just interesting to say. And it's just something that basically is reflected on the Vlahovic situation. To me, that makes me think about that more when he's saying that he looked so much for Juventus and only wanted them. Where if Vlahovic could be another guy like that who really wants Juventus and sticks with that, then it looks more and more believable coming to fruition for Juventus. So we'll keep an eye on that and we'll see what happens. But that's just the one thing that I really noticed because I remember through all the I don't want to say pain, but all through not through pain. Pain is not a good word to use. Frustrations that we had of it not getting done. Really, that's the main part. That's the main key that Juventus knew, and that it's maybe even though I know it sometimes you think people can get frustrated. Now we can move on. Basically, this was just saying that Arthur and Kaio, Jorge, were both played 60 minutes in today's friendly game. I believe that was today, actually. Today. I was like, was that from yesterday? But yeah, they played 60 minutes. No reports on their overall performance, but they did get some statements after the match, and here we have here. First one was Arthur Melo to Juventus TV, said, I've worked hard for this moment, and I made the most of these first few minutes. Clearly, the friendly was useful from a physical point of view. It was a more difficult game than a training session, but it helped me. And then he goes on to say, Allegri asked me to play at a high intensity, touching balls and creating play. I've been working hard for a month. I'm very grateful to all the Juve medical staff who helped me. I'm very happy because I don't feel the pain anymore. So basically just some good assurances that he is recovered and that he's in good shape and that he feels like he's ready to go out there and give his all for the club and be able to play and actually do his part in playing for, instead of being sidelined like he has been. So that's some good positive comments from Artur. And then we have Kaio Jorge, who had his statements. He said, I'm certainly very happy because I haven't played in so much for more than 3 months. I hope to give continuity to my work. I'm in a new group and it's a good challenge. I'm happy here and I hope to help the team in the best way. I say it a lot. Coach speak, player speak. That's a little bit of that, but it's good that he's good and he's energized and he's ready to go out and play. There's only so much you can do until you see him play with our own eyes. Then it also says Allegri asked me to play and attack, and I'm happy to be back on the pitch. I think the medical staff here in football is different in terms of strength, speed, and quality. So basically, it's definitely a step up from what he was doing in Brazil. In the competition he's playing against, he's going to go hard and play hard every day. Kaio Jorge seems like a guy who's ready for it from the short amount of play that we saw at the end of the Torino match. I liked what I saw from him. Hopefully, he can bring more of that when he gets some meaningful minutes in the coming future. And then the final report of the day comes from Romeo Gressi. This is more of it's not serious. But he was basically just saying that Pjanic was this morning at the Continenza to visit Allegri and his former teammates. So he's sitting there, still working that way in, just still trying to see if Candyman can come back to Juventus one day or not. Anyway, but he still has love for Turin. Obviously, the players, Allegri, everybody still has love for him as well. The fans do too. It didn't work out this last Mercado. we'll see if it ever works out in the future. See how he does over where he's playing currently anyway. But that's really all that I have for you today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and checking out us for all the things that you have for the news when it comes to Juventus. If you want to do anything, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and also hit that bell icon to stay updated for all of our latest updates as soon as they drop. Make sure you follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at Justin Sofro, and then also on Twitter as well. And also follow Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.